What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with a brand new basketball talk video. If you're not a best one yet already, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because of course you already know the grind is real. And normally I cover Brooklyn Net related content here on the DBTV channel. And with free agency right around the corner tomorrow, we're going to be having lots of videos coming out within the next few days or so. So definitely have those post notifications turned on.
Got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these.
And normally I talk about Brooklyn Net stuff, and this in particular player was a former Brooklyn Net player, and it came out earlier today that James Harden has opted into his player option and will be requesting a trade from the Philadelphia 76ers, moving on from the team, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. And it's going to be very interesting because James Harden has opted out, and there are some teams like the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers and even the Houston Rockets who are interested in acquiring James Harden. And I really want to dive into all of this, and I want to give you guys my thoughts, my analysis, and open up a new discussion because I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about Philadelphia so much, because I feel like every season they always end up getting somebody, and then that, all-star or that solid role player or that superstar ends up requesting a trade or leaving that team. And ever since the whole trust the process era, we've seen so many solid key players that were either supposed to be the future of the 76ers or, one of those key role players to, play with Joel Embiid and hopefully win a championship for, the city of Philadelphia. But it looks like another star that they tried to get, James Harden, doesn't want anything to do with the 76ers anymore. And I'm not surprised, because I knew that this was going to happen, and it's unfortunate that it happened to the Philadelphia 76ers, because now you can feel our pain losing our big three. But at least you guys still have, the MVP of the league, Joel Embiid. So there is some hope there. And you got a young, Tyrese Maxey on your team. And you got rid of Doc Rivers. So I wouldn't be too down about it. But if there's one thing that we're noticing here is there's a lot of key players that have been on this Philadelphia 76ers team, since Embiid has been on the team, that has left. They ended up drafting Ben Simmons with the #1 overall pick, and he ended up leaving, going to Brooklyn, and so far he's been a shell of his former self. So technically, the 76ers got rid of Ben Simmons for nothing, because now the 76ers are about to lose James Harden in free agency. Another #1 overall pick, Markelle Fultz, in the 2017 NBA draft. He was supposed to complete the process with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, but ended up, having this, injury with his shoulder, forgetting how to shoot, and eventually, he left, and now he's playing for the Orlando Magic, actually being a very solid role player over there. But with the 76ers, it didn't work out for him. Another guy, Jimmy Butler, who just was in the NBA Finals with an 8-seeded Miami Heat, and he left the 76ers for Miami because the 76ers decided to pick Tobias Harris over him. And over in Miami, he has, really turned that franchise around from, missing the playoffs to now actually being one of those dark horse teams in the Eastern Conference. And right now, a lot of us, some of us can say maybe Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid, if they knew how to use Jimmy Butler at the time, they could have won a championship together by now. Another person that was on the 76ers, Al Horford. He was a shell of his former self on that team, and, ended up, going team to team, and then, coming back to Boston and being, one of those key players last season when that team went to the NBA Finals. And another guy that's about to leave the 76ers is Tobias Harris. And we're noticing a pattern here, and I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about it. What's going on in Philadelphia? They have had all of these solid players on their team, especially, you know, guys like Jimmy Butler and James Harden, and they ended up not returning on their team after being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. What is going on with that franchise? And I think, you know, one thing definitely, you know, Daryl Morey, I think that's definitely another issue there, because he's very delusional when it comes to, you know, trades. And everybody thought James Harden was the answer. They thought that James Harden was going to be the guy that was going to help Joel Embiid win an NBA title. And I even said it from the get-go. Ever since, you know, James Harden got traded from Houston to Brooklyn, he has been a shell of his former self. And it seems like he doesn't want to play the game of basketball anymore. He's always getting injured. He cares about the strip clubs. He cares about, you know, the things going on outside the basketball court than winning a title. And when you're at that age that James Harden is at right now, usually this is where you try to compete for a championship. This is where you mature. And this is where you take pay cuts. This is where you know, want to put your selfish stats to the side and you want to focus on winning. And with James Harden, it feels like no matter what role he's in, he's not happy. He's not happy, period. When he decided to leave the Houston Rockets, the man wore a fat suit. Ended up getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets got rid of all their future assets. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, multiple first-round pick swaps for James Harden, who was a rental. And then, you know, requested a trade, demanded it, decided to go to Philadelphia to go play with Joel Embiid, and ends up leaving Joel Embiid, the MVP of this league. And I think that whatever situation James Harden is in, there is not a better situation for him than Philadelphia. And I think that James Harden goes to the Clippers, they're still not going to have what it takes to win a championship because they're dealing with injuries.
Just like James Harden.
And then the New York Knicks, they could use, you know, a scorer like James Harden on their team. But I feel like that's still not enough for, you know, the Knicks to do anything because they haven't done anything since, you know, long time ago. And even, you know, the Houston Rockets, they're a rebuild team, and I feel like if they bring James Harden over to that team, it's going to ruin everything that they have built. And I really hope the Houston Rockets continue to focus on their young guys instead of rushing the process of a rebuild. And I don't know, man. I just think that this is a horrible move for James Harden. I feel like Philadelphia was his best, you know, place to, you know, potentially win a championship. And when is enough for the Philadelphia 76ers? I just want to know, when is Joel Embiid going to put his foot down and do something about this? Because it seems like there's a lot of issues in that front office with the Philadelphia 76ers. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before Embiid decides that he wants to move on from the city of Philadelphia and, you know, try to win himself a championship. And I gotta give the 76ers credit where it's due. They have tried to put, you know, a competitive team around Joel Embiid. But it's always rentals. And it's always not good enough. It seems like the Celtics every year own the 76ers. They always end up beating them. And the Sixers' best, you know, season was when it was the 2019 season when they went against the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard hit that lucky shot. And after that, when Jimmy Butler decided to leave, Ben Simmons became a shell of his former self. The city turned on him because the man doesn't have a three-point shot. And now Joel Embiid is just with Tyrese Maxey, who I think is a very solid player. I think, you know, Maxey definitely is a lot better than James Harden is now. But what is the 76ers going to do moving forward? Because you have the MVP of the league, you have Joel Embiid, who loves the city of Philadelphia, and all of these guys that you keep pairing him up with are leaving. So I want all the best ones out there to comment down below what you think the Philadelphia 76ers should do. Should they move on from James Harden and go into a rebuild mode? Or should they try to get new assets to build around Joel Embiid that will end up staying loyal to Philly? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow me on my social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. And of course, to all the best ones out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.
I hope you're ready for the comeback. Steve Nash, I'm about to bring the sun back.